Well, it's that time of year once again. It's come around quick, hasn't it? Since opening, sort of month. Yes, it's time for Scarefest. Now, this will probably be the last time I come to Scarefest for a while because I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit deflated about it because I feel like I've put all my money into these mazes that I absolutely love. I don't think it's worth the amount they charge. Like, they've upped it by £5, and I'm just starting to think I've still come at this time of year. You know, I love this park, but the fact that I'm more excited about coming on the rides, I think, you know, I've paid to enjoy it. I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to pay for it just to moan it, because if you don't like coming, why come here? I still love coming here. I've got more different plans for next year, but I'll make the most of it as it is today. Because I'm finally going to get on Hex for the first time in a year, and that's my favourite ride ever. It's going to be it might even be more emotional next time, I don't know. But I'm going to try and get on that 4 times if possible. That's on my plan. So yeah, it's time for Rita first because there's staggered openings, so I can't get on Hex first. I am eager to get on it. Unfortunately, I can't get on it straight away, but we're going to start with Dark Forest, so I'm in that area. So yeah, first time in a very, very long time. I'm not starting with either Gloomy Wood or Forbidden Valley. But sometimes you have to do things a little bit differently. Let's go on the Queen of the Dark Forest. While it's still here. I do love Intamin Rocket, you know, stealth. Maybe fall in love with this kind of coaster. And this might not be as good as stealth, it's a lot rougher. It's definitely not as fast, but yeah, make the most of it. Probably not going to be, I'd say 5 years maximum, with the way things are going. You know, it's not actually very loud either. It's not like making a loud rattle or anything on the track. It's interesting. But we've got to walk miles through this cattle pen. It wouldn't be this park without having to queue. Well, you've got to walk longer than you have to queue. Oh, you know, I love an Intamin Rocket, and there we go. So yeah, that was great. Like, it was smooth. It was actually, because I remember getting a bit head bashed on it last time. Because yeah, it's got some more banked airtime hills than stealth. However, that was actually fairly smooth. I think, yeah, I was on a non-wheel seat, so that explains it. Yeah, row 7, because I was asked to go to row 8, but then a couple of people wanted to sit next to each other, so I ended up being on row 7. So yeah, that was great. That was genuinely great. You really notice it's not as fast as stealth, because it does, you notice as you come off the launch, it feels slow. It's not slow, it's 61.5 miles an hour, but it feels slower than stealth, because obviously stealth's 80 miles an hour. But you still get the same gut punch on it nonetheless, and it's forceful around some of these turns, because it's low to the ground. It keeps the pace. I say low to the ground, it's the second tallest coaster in the park. But anyway, I'll see if I can get on 30. I mean, it's walk on, isn't it? So I'll get on 30. Right, then let's jump on. Yeah, to be honest, I might start coming on to Dark Forest first thing more often, because you know, Nemesis is a high throughput, and yesterday it was only on like 20 minutes pretty much all day. So I'll see about that, but you know, hopefully it's the same today. But yeah, on to 13, which is the second Intamin, and then I don't know what to do after this. I might just lap Rita for an hour, because it's only 10 past. Hex doesn't open for another 50 minutes. So I came over here, and I probably could have got away with doing Nemesis Curse, all of that stuff. But instead, I've done these, and they're both walk-on. So yeah, Rita was advertised 10, but it was walk-on. So yeah, there's the truck. Can't make it out on a lot of vlogs, but yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the scare mazes, Edge of the Forest, and Dark Hollow. I'm definitely in the mood for rides now. Rita's just given me that gut punch. I'm like, yes, here we go. So, it's time for, as AI likes to pronounce it, TH13T. And 13, yes. Very fast-paced, especially on the back because I was near the back. Intamin family multi-dimension coaster, and that was a great ride. You know, it's definitely a back row ride, and I got near the back. However, it's kind of ruined a little bit because of some people I was in the car with making a lot of noise all the way around. But I can go back on. I think I've got time to go back on. I think it's probably about half an hour now till Hex opens. That said 5 minutes, it wasn't. For some reason, I don't think they've blocked the single rider entrance here, but they have at the station. I'm guessing it's because it's so quiet. They'll probably open it up later, hopefully anyway. Because the thing is, you have to walk around that cattle pen, it takes ages. So the single rider queue is, even if it's quiet, it's good that you just don't have to walk as far to get to the ride. But yeah, I'll check the time. Eager to get on Hex at this point, so I might just read through again, depending on it. It doesn't look that busy. I've got to get on that Intamin rocket. That'll be the first time I've done it twice in a day as well. Here we go, it's the old 13 shop, which is where I bought my first ever proper piece of merchandise from, for a theme park, and it's been shut for a very long time now. People probably don't even know it was a shop. So yeah, now I'm gonna go possibly on Rita again because I love that thing. There we go. First ride on a Smiler in 2 years. That was actually alright, you know. It wasn't as forceful as I remembered it, oddly. But I did start the day with Rita, which is the most forceful coaster in the park, so that's probably why I'm like... I mean, you can see the people on the front do seem to be having a bit of a rough time on there, which is a bit odd. Because I was on the back, and it was alright. I was on the non-wheel seat on the inside. It sounded like a shopping trolley. It's definitely got a rattle. But it wasn't rough. I never banged my head. It just has a brace for it because it's very sharp. It's very fast. Never really slows down at any point, apart from obviously the halfway bit. But it was nice, you know. 14 inversions. If you get dizzy, you definitely get dizzy on it because your head's just moving back and forth the whole ride. It's not. You'd think with inversions that you'd feel like you're spinning the whole time, but you don't. It's like back and forth. It's odd. Yeah, the airtime hills are great. And the Sea Serpent's my favourite inversion. I like that sort of unique, almost inverted corkscrew feel. It's like an upside down corkscrew, is that middle bit. And it's quite a unique feeling. And that's the most unique thing on it. I'm pretty sure it's the only ride in the UK with that. So yeah, it's a great coaster. It might not be that. I do think I prefer Wicker Man because it's more consistent, but that's definitely one of the better rides I've had on it. And I didn't mention just as well, I got straight on because I went single rider, and it was like there was about 5 people there. So great to do single rider early in the morning. I think that's the best thing to do. Straight in. Oh, can't wait. Right, so I've just come off of Hex. I can't describe it. I can't. No one understands how important that ride is to me. It just makes me emotional, the pre-show and everything. But yeah. So I've witnessed the story of Hex, the legend of the towers, and seen the legendary fallen branch itself. Is that good? Is that good? I've been practicing it for a while, and it kind of affects my voice training a little bit, but let's not. It's all right. But yeah, yeah, it's just stunning, isn't it? The pre-show and then the vault. The vault. I love how it rocks back at the beginning because it really disorientates you, and it's a similar cycle to all Madhouses. It's just that the theming in that one is just beautiful, stunning, honestly. And you go through, and you know that everything about it, it's just perfect. I can't add anything to that because it's so perfect. You've seen my full review of it last time I came. Yeah, having the towers set in and continuing the smell pods through. So you've got, pretty sure in the Octagon, it's the actual damp Towers ruins that you can smell. And then they continue it into the corridor. So as soon as you go around that corridor, you're not in the Towers, but it still feels like you are because of the smells. I'm going on there again. I'm going to do these 2 family scare mazes now, and then I'm going to get back on Hex again. I do want to get on Hex 4 times in total today. But for now, we're going to go to Trick or Treat Town, which is nice. This is in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory elevators building. I've said my thoughts on this building multiple times. Bring back Toyland Tours, or as John Wardley said, like a family spooky dark ride that I personally think to the Scarefest characters, because then they could have a place all year round then. The boat ride, they only use a tiny... This is a massive boat dart ride, and they only use a tiny portion of it. This bit, look at the Charlie facade. I mean, it could do with like being permanently a scare attraction. Just update it, redo the facade, make it less Charlie and the Chocolate Factory painted black. And then, yeah, Amigos. I think this should be its last year. I love it. I love Barry. I want Barry to have a permanent home somewhere else. But I do think this attraction, in all seriousness, is a bit of a waste of space. But I do love the music anyway, and I love the music in here as well, so...
Welcome to Trick or Treat Town! Now, before we get going, here are a few helpful tips and tricks.
Oh, I do have fun with Trick or Treat Town. It's not very long, I'm going to admit that. Like, Amigos is like 20 minutes, and that's what I'm going to do now. But Trick or Treat Town's still fantastic. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in there. Like, whenever I go through these family ones, I tend to get more out of the family ones than the thrill ones, because I'm just smiling perpetually all the way around. But it's great. The theming's incredible, considering it used to be just 2 glass elevators. It shows like how much of the space in that building used to be filled with projectors, you know, and light beams and stuff to get it to work. And I actually think that is probably a better use of the space. Amigos, on the other hand, with a boat ride, is a much worse use of the space. But that's a better use. That's amazing. Like, I really love Trick or Treat Town. But I do love Amigos more as an attraction. It's just that compared to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, it's not the boat ride section. Nah. But yeah, so there's not very much, you know, I did a full review of it last year. You go around knocking on the doors. You've got, like, you know, you meet the mayor, the police officer, you go through into the town, you knock all the doors. That's sort of where, because some of the scenes where they're like one door in each scene, you just like a main character show, you tend to get like put with a group of people. So you don't, sometimes, like, you know, it gives a chance of like the young kid to knock the door and stuff, so you don't really get that kind of like just going freely knocking the doors, whereas the street you kind of just go around on your own, and that's kind of, you know, I think for a general audience it's probably more enjoyable. You know, you still get the sweets and everything, but it's a little bit more awkward when you go around with someone else, but yeah, it's still nice. I think because Amigos is just like an attraction that you just walk through and it's different scenes, I do prefer that, but at the same time it's a much worse use of the space compared to the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, but yeah, then you go into the graveyard. We've got the big moon in that big box at the back where one of the elevators used to be, and then you've got a couple of actors in there, one who tries to squirt. Well, sometimes they did squirt me with a water gun last time, but they've sort of backed you into that room now, which I think is different. And then you go through and there's a water fountain. You go through into the corridor where you're not like a Haribo gold ring, and you've got like a vampire who says, you better left all the garlic outside, and I haven't got garlic on me today, but yeah, I do like garlic, so vampires probably would hate me, and I probably wouldn't want to become a vampire. So, yeah, you just basically go through there, and there's actually all the screaming heads from Jewel in there, which is quite funny. I noticed all the UV stuff, and Sean had said there were some Jewel things, and I was like, oh yeah, it's the screaming heads, the ones that goes to go, yow! They're all in there, and then you come out and you go through all these sort of punch bags painted in UV. I do think this could be the last year of this attraction, but I don't mind there being a scare attraction in that building, because it was very specifically designed for the lifts. Whereas this is a boat ride building and it's just nothing, so... I love it. Barry is a little wormy, he's also very squirmy. You know, I still love that attraction. I do go through there looking around thinking, yeah, it could do with the boat ride. And I honestly think a Delos Murtos ride with a boat ride would actually work fairly well. And I think that's something else that John Wardley could have been potentially thinking of. But as a standalone attraction, I'd love to see this stay just in a different location. It's so good. It's you've got all the songs are catchy. You've got. I'm smiling the entire way around. I'm going to be honest. It's so good. This is one of my favourite things at Scarefest, honestly, because it's just fun, enjoyable. Unfortunately, I didn't get someone to shake the maracas at the end, because that's what I got asked to do last time. It's like the dungeon; they'll pick people out. They just sort of got everyone to sing along, which was fun. And there's a giant barrier at the end. I don't think that was there last year. And if they do close this attraction or whatever, I'd like them to repurpose that or, well, give it to me. There's a few Barry props in there that they use, but like animatronic ones. But there's an actual giant barrier at the end, which wasn't there before. There's also another scene, which used to be the Dick Turpin scene in the dungeon, which we just kind of walked past last time because I don't think they had any masks, but got a mask this time. So that's nice. I've got some merch. I need to draw Barry on it or something. But yeah, that is the highlight. It's not as long as it felt last time, but it's because I wasn't expecting it how long it was going to be, whereas this time I know how long it is and I know all the order of the scenes. But yeah, it's vibrant in every scene. It's so well themed. The actors do a great job. It's like a pantomime. I know in the boxing scene there was a kid who looked a little bit unsure about it, but I think he was all right afterwards. And there was one kid for the first few scenes who was like the star of the show, getting picked and found the key in 10 seconds at the beginning. But yeah, you do go down the long corridor instead of the boat ride, of course, and I'm sure the offload's still used for the dancing scene, but I feel like they've walled it off a little bit more around the edges, because I don't remember going through a room after the boat ride. You used to just get off and then go into the torture chamber. So I think they've changed the wall layout in there a little bit, but they're still the dungeon-themed walls that they've recycled. But yeah, I like it as an attraction, but I think that something better could be done with this space, and then they could keep this and put it somewhere. I don't know where they'd put it, but I'd like to see this kept, because it's fun, but it's not using the whole building. So yeah, but as just enjoying it goes, I absolutely adore it. Right then, I've just done Hex again, and yeah, it's still great. I sat on the opposite side of the vault that time because I hadn't sat on that side of the vault for a while. So yeah, it was running great. There was a little bit of something I noticed at the end of the ride. Once we got off the vault, there was a really loud humming sound. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I hope it's just sort of it powering down afterwards, but I've never noticed it before. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the vault was running smoothly that time. It was, well, it always is. That's the only problem I got with the haunting. It kind of jerks as it's going round, whereas this is very smooth. And yeah, I think the reason, because the illusion's fantastic. I think the reason it works so well is because, especially in Hex, when it's such a big room, you feel like there's no possible way that all of that could be rotating, because obviously everything looks like it's made of stone and everything's massive, but it's not really. It's all just I don't know what the materials are, but it's all very light kind of material, so it can all spin around, but you kind of get fooled by it because you think there's no way this can be rotating, but it is. But yeah, I mean, they're still batching people in, so hopefully that wasn't an issue and it was just kind of the part of the ride powering down. I'm not too sure about that. Or it was something from outside, So, yeah, but it's still my favourite dark ride. I still get I didn't get as emotional in the pre-show this time, but I'm sure if I come back later on and just fully take it in, then yeah. Because I was standing in the queue and I was scrolling on my phone. I was like, what am I doing? There's beautiful set pieces. The queue's got loads of random theme and it's got rubble from when they knocked down the wall, so if they ever needed to rebuild it, then they've still got the materials there. But yeah, it's just perfect. I can't say anything else about this ride. I'm so glad that hopefully it's open from the start of the season. I can just enjoy it from this point, because it wasn't last year. Although if it doesn't, I'll just wait for it to open. If it's open for Kids Pass and stuff, then hopefully that means you know, I think maybe they just added some finishing touches and whatever. But hopefully now this can just be a ride I can come and enjoy, like Curse Alton Manor was, and still is. So, but we've also got Hex added to that, which is my favourite. So yeah, it's just beautiful. There's not. I've given more reviews on it every time I've been on it now, and I can't say it's just perfect. And yeah, people said it's got damp walls, yeah, because it's in the main bit's in the Towers ruins itself. And the smell pods, like I said, continue, so it kind of still feels like it is in the vault at the end. But yeah, it's great. Some people sort of don't know what to expect, and some people are like really loving it, and then other people are like, that can't be it now. And it's a long ride with all the pre-shows and everything, but I think because it's not like a track dark ride, it's basically a flat ride type, but it only works as a dark ride. But I love it because of that. And like, I just love all dark rides with any physical theming, but it's especially one as cinematic as this with the music. That's the thing. They changed the lighting, but they kept the music, and that's all I cared about really. So yeah, but there's not anything else to say. I've gone on a little bit with that, but I'm going to do the Sky Ride now and try and get on Nemesis.
What? Yeah, look.
Oh, in the queue?
He's just not up there. It's not some fun. Hilarious.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's fast. I would go. You want to go on that? Or do you come back with okay, we can put this way. That way.
It'll be about 9 by the time you get there.
That won't work. No, it'll be fine. Is everything back open now? It's all open. The cable car. Take your mouth.
I need a ride down there.
That Higgs was actually really good. I quite enjoyed that. Also, I need to be open under instruction like a Sky Ride. Yeah, so let's I really want to open it now.
Oh, I'm actually drop. Oh, we get to go to the big fountain area in the garden.
It's not that bad.
I'll tell you what, that was nice to get back on the Sky Ride after 3 years, well longer really, because it was September 2022, mental. It's been shut since the start of 2023, and it reopened in May, I think, at the start of May. And I'm glad I got it from that side. I just got lucky, the fact that my route I needed to go on the Sky Ride was from Dark Forest, because if I needed it from here, it's a bit of a queue. Not too bad though, it's very high throughput. You can get, I think, 8 people in a car, something like that. I don't know what the actual capacity is in each car, because there's just a bench on each side, and you normally get put with like one of the group, which is fine. It's the capacity, so yeah. But I'm here in Forbidden Valley. Nemesis was on 40 last time I checked. It was on 45, then it went down to 35, and then it's on 40. But I don't know, they might be overestimating it. If not, there's not actually that many priorities left on my list apart from the scare mazes, but they aren't open yet anyway. So actually, it's not too bad. Like, you know, if I have to queue for Nemesis and Wicker Man, and then, because I'll do Curse Alton Manor, which is a fantastic dark ride, and I'll tick that off, and that's it, you know. And then I did it to do 13 again, but really, like, I might get to do Subterra, Gangster Granny and stuff. I didn't think I'd get the chance to. I'd like to do Get Set Go in CBeebies, so I could say I've done it since the retrack. I know it's terrible now, but I'd just like to say that I've done it. If I get the chance. It's been walk on all day. I think families just don't bother with it anymore, because it used to be able to see over the whole area, and then now you only see over a little bit, and it's just, yeah, it's people used to go on it first to see what's in CBeebies land, and now you don't see anything, so it's kind of pointless. It's that short. Although some of the maps suggest it might be a temporary thing, but I don't know. Postman Pat's now left as well, so I remember my emotional last ride on there. That's now gone. Completely flat land. All the buildings have been demolished. All the props have probably been scrapped, which is really sad. And the new Bluey coaster is under construction, which I was. If you've seen my Instagram post, which I don't think many people saw it, I was holding out hopes because there's a particular TV show that I grew up on, which is coming back next year, and I might talk about that when I go over to see BB's. Hopefully that gets an attraction in the future, even if it's a walkthrough. I'd love it. Oh yes, Nemesis. Is the eye working? It looks. Oh no, yeah, I think it is. I think it's just asleep. Yeah, I mean that was great. That was just like your spot-on ride on Nemesis. It was very forceful. I think I am kind of trained to the Force now, but what I love about it's the pacing. I don't think it's got a rattle. I think it's really smooth since the retracking. It's just gone down to half an hour, but it was only about half an hour from where I queued, and the queue has gone down, so it'll probably be about 20 now. Yeah, it's a great coaster. It's my favourite coaster, and it always will be. I think because of that memory the first time I did it. I don't know if it's like Hex, where like it's secure as my favourite, because I think there might be coasters I do around the world that I do end up preferring to Nemesis. But now that the pacing on that thing, it's the first drop and how quickly you accelerate. John Wardley defied physics with that ride. It almost feels like the design is so specific on there that I just can't. I love it. I do hope to get back on it later on, especially if the queue stays at like half an hour, 20 minutes. When it gets later on, I think the queues do tend to die down. So hopefully that's the case today, especially on a Sunday. But yeah, it's always great to get back on Nemesis. I don't know, I might do Subterra today. I don't think I'd get the chance with all the mazes, but I've gotten so much already, and the mazes, I think it's still a couple of hours to go. So, or an hour, might be an hour. But yeah, like, I might get a chance to go on there, but I'm going to prioritise Curse Alton Manor now, and go past Compound, which I'm looking forward to. But Subterra's been quiet all day, so yeah, they've also added a cover over the queue line for 15, yeah, so I could probably do that any time, and then if I do this, I've got to do Gangster Granny, and then I've done all the dark rides then. So, yeah. Oh, you can't beat the Curse. Well, you can because of Hex, but it's a great ride. It's a great dark ride. The atmosphere's fantastic, and yeah, it all takes place. You'd never believe it in John Wardley's half-finished Tesco's. Yes, when he was building the haunted house, and it was a shell of a building. That's what he called it. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, because all the effects were working on the ride, I didn't notice one thing that wasn't working, which, there's always like one little thing not working, but no, everything was working in there, which is fantastic. Loads of different scenes. It's a really long ride. The ride system's great because it's so high throughput. Interestingly, they've took the board from the queue timer. It's just a timer on a frame. I don't know why they've done that. I don't know if it was because of the storms yesterday. Maybe it fell off and they need to put it back on, but I don't know why that's off, but the actual ride, everything's working. I didn't quite catch the pre-show because I didn't want to hold people up. Everyone was just kind of walking through there. But yeah, what they managed to do in 6 months by like using old props from Jewel that were great and then adding loads of new bits in, completely replacing certain scenes, it's impressive. Because the Gruffalo had the same sort of time frame before Bubbleworks, and obviously that they ripped out loads of scenes. They didn't really use much at all, and I think that came out, like in terms of like the circumstances, it's just as well. This is a better ride for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of other people as well. Even though Gruffalo's a boat ride, yes, but yeah, you know, this is just so atmospheric. It's the lighting's fantastic. It draws your attention away from like the bits of the show building and everything. It's great. I just noticed as well the poles are still there. I don't know why they never got rid of those. Basically, when Jewel was here, he used to have like shoot the red targets for this many points, and the sign was stuck to those poles, and they never actually removed them. I don't know why, but that's a nice little Easter egg, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do Mine Train now. I was going to go up to Subterra, but I feel like I'm just edging this way. So yeah, but Curse Alton Manor, great ride. That's probably the best run through the most perfect run through I've had on there. Yeah, I can't think. I'm just thinking of all the different effects, and nothing wasn't working in there. So yeah. Oh yeah, Wicker Man was running incredibly there. Probably the best ride I've had on it. Like, it was consistent. It was well paced. That's the thing. It's kind of relentless. It never really slows down. I think John Wardley accepted kind of being proved wrong on that, really, because of that. He was sort of worried about the flat turn, that it'd slow down the pacing a little bit. But I mean, they did a good job with it, because it doesn't really. But yeah, it's a great wooden coaster. Honestly, I think, because I did do the Woodies in Blackpool a couple of months ago now, really, and I'd say that was actually running better than Nash and Big Dipper. Which, I mean, those my top 4 wooden coasters, it's those 3 and then the one at Yarmouth, and they can switch depending on when I go on them. But this was running well, strong ride on where it's whippy. You got loads of airtime on it and loads of those flat turns that just keep the pacing. You're just going. It's great. I don't know what to do now, really. I might just Subterra, but I feel like I need to kind of work my way over to the other end, where Edge of the Forest and Altonville Mine Tours are, so I can start my Scare Maze thing with them and then finish on Compound. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else like around here. I might hop on Get Set Go or Spinball Wizard or something. Who knows? It depends what the queues are. In fact, no, not Spinball, because Spinball's shut. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still shut because of the weather, which is a shame because it's not that windy, but they've made it more strict. But we'll see anyway. Oh dear, okay. So I've just come off of Get Set Go. Tree short advert. I don't even know what to call it. It's terrible now, honestly. Look, I come to this park and it's not perfect. It's got a lot of potential that's unused, but I try to be as positive as possible because I like to enjoy. This ride is absolutely dreadful compared to how it used to be. It really is. It is so short now, and not many people have been on it. I wanted to just go on it just so I had my own opinion on it. And I had seen, because you're not allowed to film on it anymore, so I'm glad I got that POV earlier in the year before they've retracted it. And I used to, when they changed that, someone had done an illegal POV that they weren't meant to. And it looked short then, and I've just been on it, and it feels even worse. They haven't even updated the audio, and I know they can, because I did a few years ago at the end of it. But, yeah, dreadful. That's one of the most pointless rides. The point of this, when it was Squirrel Nutty, was that families could go on it and get a view around the whole area. You literally go over here and round there into the stations just over there. So yeah, shame about that one. And you still see inside the house, you don't go through there anymore. Still all just the theming's left abandoned in there. The CBeebies Bug theming hasn't been well looked after. At the other end, apparently some of them are quite damaged. I couldn't quite make it out, but yeah, like when you see all the bugs on the floor at the entrance, yeah. But yeah, it used to go all through there, all the way around the back by the clock tower, and then it used to come and connect up to there. But yeah, no, it's so pointless. It's basically just a car ride in the air. It's not like an aerial viewing ride anymore, because you don't see anything, and it just needs more to look at. If they want to make it like this, it needs more to look at. That's specific to this ride, really. Because yeah, you say welcome to CBeebies Land. Here's the something special sensory garden. They've just cut the audio for this bit, and then here's the tree house, here's the go-go juice. That's the end, and that's how short it is. So if I ever come into CBeebies Land again, it'll just be to do in the night garden and grieve about the fact that my childhood is now a pile of rubble. And here's Postman Pat. There's one bit of it left, just that little, I think that was a rail connector down there. It's all flat land. Now, what I said this should have been is that Balamory is coming back next year, and I actually would have liked to have seen a ride themed to that. Now, the coaster wouldn't have made as much sense. If they'd have kept Pat, what would have been amazing is imagine going round on the bus and you press the buttons to say which coloured house you go into. Wouldn't that have been amazing? Wouldn't it? It's coming back next year. I'm sure it's going to be very popular with every generation, because I'm going to watch it. I don't care. So yeah, that would have been amazing. And I know it's a bit selfish because it is a show that I grew up on and my generation grew up on. I'm very protective over that, because the fact that In the Night Garden and Something Special are some of the only shows that are relevant now. But yeah, it would have been amazing. Imagine, just imagine that's what I'd have done if I owned the park. Postman Pat isn't shown anymore. It's not relevant. The Royal Mail said that he was too cheery. Yes, that's the reason it was cancelled. He didn't fit their corporate image. So yeah, so it's not relevant. That's a shame. But it could have been. They could have kept the scenic ride, kept this exactly the same, and then had Edie's bus as the ride vehicle. Wouldn't that have been amazing? Or even the coaster could have still been themed to that. It would have been something, even though it wouldn't have fit the theme really. And I'd rather have a car ride than another coaster, but it would have been alright. But instead we got Bluey, which, look, it looks like a great show, but it's the fact that it's just taken over. It's taken over people's childhoods. This car, if you look at the car in Bluey, they could have just painted the Pat vans and themed the car ride to Bluey. That would have been another option. But instead I think they've gone for the worst option, which is a shame. Yeah, so there's going to be a new coaster for us next year. Feels like they've only done this to market it, ruined an existing ride, and they've done this just so they can market it as a new coaster, which, I don't know, I try to be positive, but this area is lacking its kinetic energy, and that's not just because of the Postman Pat music not playing anymore. Alton Towers, where they're going to snatch your skin. Let's move on from that. I feel like they've changed the layout of the exit on this, but I don't know. It's eerily quiet, so I don't know if we're going to be one of the only people going through there. Right, that was interesting for Altonville Mine Tours. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chainsaw at the end. However, there were quite a few actors in there. All the teenagers that went missing in there. Basically, what I love about it, that time, like compared to last, I got separated from the group. I think we all just ended up going through as a group last time. But I got to go through on my own, because I was a bit worried at first, because there weren't many scares. But then as I started going through on my own, of course, because I was at the back of the group originally, and then as I started going through on my own, it picked up and I got a lot more jump scares in there. And I think because of that, it made it a lot more atmospheric than last year. I do love the mazes where you go through on your own, are the best, at least for me, because I like that sort of fast-paced scare kind of thing, and you just don't get that when you're at the back of the group, especially. So yeah, this is definitely, it's got that sort of multi-routed aspect right near the end. Yeah, in terms of, is this only the second time I've done this, so I haven't done it for like 10 years in a row, but it does need to go this year. You know, the theming's amazing in there, and you kind of, it's like the mine at the Black Country Museum, but as a horror. I'd love to see if they did a scare maze in there. Because yeah, you can hear the chainsaw now. Yeah, I didn't get that. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad I got to see the actor there though, and there were still some good jump scares, and hopefully I'll get the tasers at the end of Compound. But yeah, in terms of that, like, it didn't have that iconic ending, but I think as a run through for the rest of it, I preferred that sort of, basically I think what happens is the rest of the group goes through together and then it joins up at the end. And if you're going through on your own, then you're like, if you're at the back of the group, you get split and go on your own. But that's where I got the crawl section and stuff, which I did do last time, so I don't know if they've sort of alternate that route, or I don't know. I haven't done it enough times really. But yeah, it was nice. It's a great maze. You know, you've got like miners equipment everywhere, and you know, the story's quite basic. It's just these teenagers went missing, and then you start to hear about Tiny, who's like, you know, the person who sort of got basically kind of kidnapped them into the mines, and that's why they went missing. What I've just noticed is you can actually see some of the back of one of the walls there, which has probably been used. I think it does go through behind this bit of the towers. Yeah, that's the thing, when you got the real stone walls as well, it does add to it. There are definitely some fake ones that are sort of a bit wobbly, but yeah, the real ones are great. Anyway, I think I'm going to do Edge of the Forest now, and then I've only got Compound left before the scare zones open at 5. So yeah, that was nice run through. It's very stroby, and it's very dark. It's disorientating, and you just have to kind of follow. It's a very hands on shoulders maze. It seemed a bit slow at first, then like I said, it picked up a little bit. So yeah, that was a nice maze. Nice, just good, solid. But Edge of the Forest I'm looking forward to, because the theming I think is on the same quality as this. I don't know about the scares. People have said that's the weakest one in terms of the scares, so I don't know. But I feel like the theming's going to be like a horror version of the Gruffalo. Is what I'm expecting. The storyline's like a horror version of the Gruffalo, and then the theming, if you've been on the Gruffalo ride at Chessington, it looks like it's going to be similar theming, which is quite interesting. But yeah, we'll go through there after. Oh, wow, this one's got a bit of a queue. I mean, this is the new one. I was going to save it till last, but Compound apparently is still the best, so yeah. But this, I want to know, the theming looks amazing in here. I don't really know what to expect completely, because I've stayed mostly spoiler free. Yeah, that was actually really good. Oh, there's some barrels from the dungeon there, I think. Yeah, I know what people mean. There's not as many like jump scares as Altonville. There's still a couple, but they're quite subtle. Yeah, but that I actually preferred the experience of that, because I think the thing is with me and scare mazes, like dark rides, I don't really care about the scares. It's more the experience and the anticipation of getting a lot of actors and things. I don't think that's what the scare mazes, the scare zones get the balance of both, I think. Of course, Dark Hollow's here, so. But yeah, that was really good. The theming's absolutely fantastic. It's not quite, I know I'm inside kind of thing, like I was expecting it to be. After what people have said, it feels like you're actually outside. It doesn't, but that doesn't take away from the whole experience. It's very well done. It is a little bit repetitive, but you start getting more actors as you go through. So you basically go into the forest. So you go into this cabin in the woods, and they tell you about the legend of the Leshwall. He's basically like a possessed kind of. I think he's supposed to be like the personification of like a possessed tree kind of thing. Yeah, it's like a legend basically, similar to like all of the scare mazes really. Although compound you just kind of go into the room and get locked in, but with this and Mind Tours they sort of tell you about like a legend or a bit of history or whatever. And it's like a sort of old woman in there who's living in the cabin in the woods, tell you not to go, but then she kind of, I think she's supposed to get possessed because she starts going mad and sort of screaming and going around and like jumping out at people and stuff, and then you go out of the cabin and into the woods because she disappears. The door opens on its own, you go in and you basically weave between the trees, and it does actually feel like you've done a full loop and got back into the house. Now you do go in through the front door again, so it doesn't actually feel like you've gone into the house again. If you're not looking out for that, it'd work though. But it does kind of feel like you should have gone, because it feels like you've done a full loop, but you haven't. I think it's kind of gone diagonally. There is a car in there, which I'm pretty sure it's like a Beetle. It's not a drag racer, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Rita, because it's painted red and it's playing the Thunder Rock Rally radio from when it was Ugland and it was Rita and the Thunder Rock Rally. So that was quite interesting. That I don't know if that was in there before, because someone hadn't really pointed that out to me. There was no touching in the maze. There was in Mind Tours. I didn't mention that. They sort of like grab your hair and it's normally like sort of tap you on the shoulder. It's not like Compound where they'll like drag you around and stuff. That's why I've saved that one till last. I'm going to probably do that now. But yeah, that was still a very good run through. So yeah, and basically as you go through, you get a bit of deja vu, and the cabin and the woods start to get more overgrown. The lights stop working on the car, and the branches start coming over. There's like vines. The window in the cabin gets broken at one point, and yeah, you just go through, and as each time there's more actors who are supposed to be like, I guess like the locals who lived in these cabins in the woods who are now, or people who just live nearby, and then they get possessed by the Leshwall, and yeah, it's great. And then you go through about the fourth time, I think, and then the other door is open, because there's actually two doors in the cabin. One says beware the Leshwall, the other one is just like a normal door with a window in it, and you go through the Leshwall one this time, whereas you normally go through the other one. And then the Leshwall comes out, where you get like the old woman's more possessed, and then you go in the Leshwall. He's like a big tree monster basically, And there's actually, I think there must be a couple of actors playing the Lesh Wall in there, because you see he sort of looks like he's teleporting around a bit. So yeah, that and you basically go through like different parts of the house. The smell pods really pick up in there, and then yeah, you kind of weave in and out of the rooms. There's like a bathroom in there with a sink, and then as you start to, that's sort of near the end of the maze, there's like a bed with a dead person in it. I think it's like a dead girl in the bed, and there's like these actors giving people jump scares around the bed. That's probably the scariest scene, because you get sort of like dark lighting, like it's not exactly strobed, but it's kind of like the lights will kind of go off and the actors will be there, and it keeps it very eerie, where there's like the theming piece of the because the person is just a wax figure, but it looks, when you subtle kind of thing, there's a couple of actors, and then you go through and you got a couple of Lesh Wall jump scares at the end. They didn't scare me as much as they did other people. I don't know why, but there I didn't get as many. Like I just got like a swipe across the face rather than like a jump scare. But it was still good, and the theming in that and the immersion is definitely better than Mine Tours, I think. If you like scares, like Mine Tours, I think one of the best bits was there was like an actor, I thought I'd seen someone crawling over the floor, and then an actor sort of leapt up right in front of me. That was really good. But yeah, the theming is definitely better, and this felt complete. It does feel a little bit more family. There's not that, there's some unsettling things in there, I guess. But it depends what you're scared of, really. But I think this would be more suitable for like a younger audience, like 10-year-old rather than like 12, which is interesting. But yeah, it's very good. But I think Compound's still going to be the highlight. Right, yeah, I've just done Gangster Granny, which is the IP dark ride at the park. It's fine. Like, I do enjoy it when I come on here and it's walk on, and it pretty much was just. But then it shouldn't be walk on. This area is just completely dead, and I've said they should have just kept it as Clown Cuckoo Land and just added this in, and obviously given all the refurbishments to the buildings, given these a lick of paint. But it's a bit stupid, really, because it was supposed to be the world of David Walliams, and it sounds like quite an interesting thing for like a popular author at the time. And look at this, look at the state of this, like the building, it just looks run down. This used to be Ice Age, and before that it was a theatre. This used to be a shop. This used to be Nick Out of Control. That's been closed for longer than that building was ever used for anything, because it was a doll's house before that. The Frog Opera was supposed to be basically a temporary thing, but still here. Yeah, it just needs something. I hope that the Gangster Granny was a temporary thing. I mean, the facade, they did a great job on it, and the fact it's obviously, I mean, this is just where they built Wobble World, or, well, the play area as it was when it first opened. The tower behind it, the clock tower, looks beautiful. Like, that's a nice backdrop to a dark ride, but yeah, it just doesn't feel quite atmospheric. And I mean, this isn't, oh, okay, they put some Halloween stickers in the window. But yeah, I just think this has got so much potential. When it was Cloud Cuckoo Land, when I first came in 2014, this was such a nice area, and it's just died. Then we had a bit of hope for David Walliams, but they never really invested in anything else. I don't think it was the right choice for an IP at all. But you know what, Gangster Granny's an alright dark ride on its own. I just feel like it doesn't have that long left, really. And I think when they had Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that was a popular children's book. Roald Dahl books are more classic, aren't they, really? And that was fairly popular. It wasn't the most popular. It wasn't pulled off as well as the concept art said, but I'd want Charlie and the Chocolate Factory than this, you know. So yeah, hopefully something's coming to this. Look at that, they've just left Flavio there. Just
it was only run by 14, 15, 16 there. Basically, if you
that, oh my god, that is such a good maze. It's such a good maze. It's the best scare maze I've ever done. It's still great. I didn't feel like I was in there as long as last time, but I did get to see the room that I've always wanted to see in there, which is the water room, which I think was originally like supposed to, because I think they added some new bits for Toxicator, But I didn't see any of those. I just saw the water room, but I'd always wanted to see that as last year. And I went in there, I was like, oh yes, I've got the water room. Basically, there's all like mist on the ground, there's like barrels full of water, and you get like this sort of... I think it's supposed to be like a phalanx operative who's been trapped in there, and then like what the effect of Nemesis' saliva, because that's what the green liquid's supposed to be on Nemesis and on Toxicator. So I think that was the idea. So yeah, she's been all like, sort of like all of her face is kind of like been taken over by but there's like veins of the green liquid, which looks great. There is some UV in there actually on some of the actors, just to get it, you know, things to glow and stand out. But yeah, like the theming in there, it's the sort of a room that I went in near the end, which I did go. I think everyone goes through in there, because I went through there near the end last time with all the aliens. There weren't as many aliens, and I wasn't on my own for much of it. I got the crawl bit again, which I did get last time, and that which I was on my own. I was on my own in the sort of water bit as well, but I wasn't on my own like for most of it like I was last time. But it really depends. This is so different every time you do it. That's the thing. They want you to pay to do it again and again. Obviously, I'd only do it once a year. I'm not sure if I come to Scarefest next year. After doing the Amazes and feeling the atmosphere, I don't know, I might. I just feel like I need something completely new, and Twin Lakes is going to offer that, and I think that is the best decision. So it was great to get back in Compound again. It's just great. Like, yeah, you got the kitchen scene in there, which is, I think that's what it's supposed to be, where the aliens are in there. There is. I'm pretty sure there is like a proper kitchen that's supposed to be reminiscent of the old kitchen that was underneath Nemesis originally. I didn't go through there. I didn't go through the Subterra egg room either. But yeah, it was still a great run through. It's still great with the jump scares and everything. If you want like proper jump scares, that's where you go in. The strobes as well, where they keep, you know, it goes so dark and it flicks on for a split second, and you're trying to find your way around. Yeah, it is really, really fantastic. And then of course you've got the tasers at the end, which were better. There was a couple of actors in there, and I don't think I went through the bit with the ropes hanging down. I think I was just let out. So I think they have slightly changed the layout, because they don't open the back doors anymore. You come out the side. I'm sure that's different, because I'm sure I just got out last time. But yeah, there's a couple of actors coming right close to you with the tasers. That's the thing, I didn't get dragged around as forcefully, but I still did get dragged around. I don't think they were dragging anyone around as forcefully, to be honest. There was a bit where they're like, you go into a different, like when I got into the tunnel bit, because there are some routes that will lead you back round into the central area, where there's like a core in the middle. There are certain routes that will lead you back round to there, and I got one of those last time, but this time it was literally just straight through. There was like these cages that were opening up, which I think I was in that room last time, but I just walked past it. I don't know if they have changed the layout. I'd love to do the BTS, obviously I haven't got a chance to, unfortunately, but it would be great. Yeah, that kind of, I was being a bit handled by one of the actors, but I don't think it was aggressive as last year, but it was still like it was a lot more touchy than Mine Tours. They say yes, touch you in Edge of the Forest, but they didn't touch me, and they said that in Daz last year, and they didn't. I'm glad that's gone. Attic, I don't know if they were supposed to, I don't think they did, so that wasn't like an issue that they didn't, and it wasn't an issue in Edge, it's just something I'll point out. But yeah, Compound's so good, I could just talk about it. And I think because I've had a different experience in there today, I can like go more in depth with it. Because Mine Tours is basically the same details, whereas this is so different every time you do it. It is like doing a new experience, so I can kind of go more in depth with it. But now I'm going to get on Nemesis Subterra, which it's probably the ride that terrifies me the most at the park. And the reason is the air cannons. I can't do with it when they're like blasting in my face and I can't breathe. That's the one thing I don't like about Subterra. At least I know what to expect now, because I don't think they were working the first time I did it. And now, yeah, you get 2 blasts before the egg, and then 1 blast after. So, yeah, but yeah, Compound was amazing as always. Yeah, Nemesis Subterra, I enjoyed it a lot more. The air cannons are in there, but I didn't feel them. I don't know if it depends, or if I just worked myself up a lot last time, because I was nervous about the back prodders, but yeah, it wasn't that intense that time. Unfortunately, I thought maybe, I mean, I said this in the last video, that maybe in the shipping container at the end you might get like an actor or two in there at Scarefest, because they've got the roaming actors around the park now. Obviously, where there was the whole cutback. But I thought maybe at Scarefest they'd get some actors from the other company that I think maybe are turning up for the next year. I'm not too sure about that. But unfortunately not. It was just the white corridor. And the reason they put the shipping container in as like a mini scare maze at the end. You used to just come out the lifts and you kind of went into like the cage bit and then you just left. Whereas now they've sort of turned it into like an infrared scan. It's not... It definitely could do with some actors because it is a little bit anticlimactic. You know, it's so atmospheric, loud noises. You've got warning lights going off, and you've got obviously the eggs hatched and everything. You drop down into the nest, and it's all fun. But yeah, I don't know. There's just I need like something at the end, because the whole reason they added the scare maze when it first opened was because it wasn't very highly regarded when it first opened, and people still don't really say it's one of the best dark rides in the world, which it isn't. But I'm just glad I've done all the dark rides. Hex is back as well. Curse was shut last time I checked, but I don't know if it still is. And also the two family scare the two free scare zones are now open because it's 5 o'clock, so we've got like 4 more hours left. Well, it's about 3.5 now, to be fair. But I'm satisfied. I've done a lot more than I thought. This wasn't on my priority list, to be honest. I did find it a little bit scary last time, so just the air cannons, but I've done it now and it was alright, so yeah. But it is well themed. The caves all on the ceiling and everything in the bit after the lift, and the lifts are great. I mean, you've seen my reviews on this before. You can look at, someone's probably done a POV. I don't really recommend supporting people filming when they shouldn't. There might be an official I'm sure there is an official POV. It probably weren't in 2012, but yeah, it's just another, it's a capacity filler. It's basically a flat ride. And Forbidden Valley, it does need a replacement for the blade, but at least they haven't just took it out and left. Well, I think they have left the queue, but it's not as noticeable. But yeah, this and Intoxicate are just great filler rides that people can come and do, take the queues away from Nemesis. That's why this opened when it did in 2023, because Nemesis was shut and Galactica was very massive queues, and this was a great decision to bring this back. It still feels weird getting in there knowing it was shut for years. I never thought I'd get a chance to do it. And it came back, because obviously I was way too young when it first shut. And I only came to the park once when it was open, and that was 2014. So, yeah, but I am glad to have this ride here, and it's great fun, it's well themed, it's a good dark ride.
His anger. Feed the flames.
Which way? Oh! I wasn't even looking.
Wait!
Choke on the blood and spit on you. Oh, you can feel the heat.
That's all you're missing! Come on then!
Yeah, I never really, because I'm not going to see any of the shows today, although I probably could do with a bit of a sit down. Yeah, it's interesting here because it's a smaller stage, and I get that, but I do wish it was in Fountain Square. I think for some reason they had to put planning permission in to put it in here, and it seems a bit odd because surely it's a temporary structure, they can just move it and take it down whenever, and I don't know if they're even going to do Pirate Takeover next year, but if they do, I'm sure they'll use it for that. And here, that makes sense here then. I think it's the Alton Ancestors on, is it? Yeah, I haven't seen them on Tower Street. I feel like it's been one of the best days I've had at Alton Towers in terms of rides, but I don't think the Scarefest atmosphere is quite the same as last year, even though they've done more this year. It's weird. Yeah, it's the Alton Ancestors. I'm glad I get to see a little bit of them. This is like when I was at Butlins and seeing the Skyline Gang, and I was like, I didn't think I was going to get to see him, but I did. This is like that. Oh, is it? No, it's not, is it? It's the Freaky Friends. Well, you know, at least I got to see one of the shows. Yeah, I just feel like this stage could do with relocating to Fountain Square, but probably Scarefest, because they won't do any other entertainment for the main season until Scarefest next year, probably. So, yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the Freaky Friends show, because they've got all the costumes. They'll turn up at some point. Because I did see a vlog where this was on it. Well, it is the mascot, so it's kind of like seeing the Skyline Gang in a way. The Alton Ancestors are more iconic for a general audience, but yeah, it's great. Yeah, I think there's only 4 of them in there. I think there are 7 of them now altogether. But oh no, I can see 5 of them from here. Guess the other 2, or the new ones, will turn up later on. The new ones for last year. But yeah, I can't get a good angle from here. But you get to see a bit of the show. They don't have many songs on the playlist. I wish it was more like. I did go to I think it was Gulliver's last year, where they were playing like some decent songs. It was in the Hard Luck Bears, yeah. So, but I'd definitely choose some different songs, but it's probably licensed it. Yeah, there you go, they are all there. The other 2 are just at the back. Oh yeah, Hex is always fantastic. Look at the lighting on it now. Oh, yeah, I think, because I was going to try and do it 4 times today, because I wanted to catch up with the amount of times it was shut. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping, like I said, it's ready for the start of the season next year. But I think it's my favourite ride of all time. That does not change. It's just the type of ride it is that happens to be my favourite ride. It's very much a showpiece. It's got all the pre-shows and everything. And I feel like the magic of it works better. I think 3's the maximum amount of times I'd do it in a day, to be honest. I'm just satisfied with it. It was very magical the first time, and then I kind of got a bit used to it. And it's nice to get on it. I like doing it as many times as possible. But I think because of the type of ride it is, I think it gives you a bit of a balance if you do it 3 times. I don't know, I just feel like I'll get really excited about coming on it, and I wanted to prioritise doing it as many times. I'll still love getting on there. I just think a lot of time the Madhouse is like with the Haunting, I only do it once a day, and this is normally a ride people will do once a day. Because of how much of a show it is. It's the kind of ride that you really do once as a spectacle. But it still feels amazing. Like the queue, even when it's walk on, it still feels like more of an experience than Curse. And I guess it is. It's got all the pre-shows and everything leading up to it. Yeah, the only thing I don't like is how smug the Earl looks. I've noticed that today when he turns to the camera after he's chained the tree and he's like, "Yeah, I'm rich and I can do this." I just noticed that today. I was like, yeah, he's smug, but he's a rich man who owns a massive amount of land. So, well, he used to. Yeah, he's dead now. But you know, yeah, I think the actor did do a good job because he was supposed to be arrogant. That's the whole point. It's the moral of the story is, yeah, if it, you know, the curse gets put on his family and he just goes mental for the rest of his life, trying to figure out the branch, and he never does figure out what happens, because us as the riders go into the dig site where it's been discovered, and by going in that vault and just sort of being there together, we defeat the curse. That's the idea I get from the story. The big snowball effect is supposed to be the defeating the curse, and it fits the fact that the soundtrack goes a little bit magical at the end as all the lights just blast back on again. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I've kind of talked about it all. Yeah, that's it's kind of the idea that, you know, the Earl's family, the rest of the family, one member of the family dies. I think he doesn't want another member to die because of him, because of his reputation, more than that. It's a selfish reason. And then obviously he does chain the tree. No one else dies, but he goes mental. The rest of the family don't see him because he's just locked in the vault. So yeah, that's the story. That's the story I get anyway. Yeah, it's some of it's up to your own interpretation, but that's the way I see it. And you can see the original Staffordshire crest, which is actually one of those in the ride. There's a couple on Gangster Granny, and that's the original one up there. It's a great thing there. I'm presuming there's one on Alton Castle, which is down the road. Not Alton Towers, Alton Castle. It's a chapel, I think now. But it probably has one of these on it because it is the county. But yeah, I'm going to sit down. I did buy a sausage roll from the Mutiny Bay Courtyard. I don't normally getting food from here. I kind of feel a bit bad, but I'm hungry and tired and I need a rest. Basically, it's been a long day. But yeah, I think I'm satisfied with 3 rides on Hex just because of how much of a spectacle it is. You know, you want to do it to enjoy it and enjoy the pre-shows. You don't want to sort of take the magic out of it by just repeating it, you know. That's the best way to describe it.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's definitely more unsettling than like jump scares. yeah, my first night ride on 13 there. And I was kind of expecting it to be just dusk, but it seemed to have gone from like orange sky to dark really quick. But yeah, that was great. No, not as much 6-7 as last time. Yes, I am an old woman at heart. Yeah, it was only at the end. For some reason, kids keep shouting it. I'm sure people were shouting it in the first pre-show of Hex earlier for that last ride on it. But the thing is with Hex, it kind of stuns people, so they don't... If you get screaming kids, when you get into the vault, and even in the pre-shows, people are just like, I don't know what to expect, so they're just kind of, you know, immersing themselves and enjoying it, whereas, yeah, when you're first queuing up, you sometimes get that, which is a shame. Rita's open, I'm going to get on there. I did see it, I thought it was shut for the rest of the day, I saw it testing, so, yeah, it'll be really quiet. Yeah, let's get on the Intamin rocket, or the tower, what's it called? It's backwards, isn't it? So it's Towers. Rita stands for Rocket Intamin Towers Alton, which backwards is Alton Towers Intamin Rocket. So yeah, but yeah, I'll try and hop on there after, and yeah, I'm so relaxed today because I did out all the priorities now. Like I said, I was going to do Hex again, but I don't know. I think you know, I love it and I want to keep it that way. So I think for the magic, that calls it a day. I think I'm satisfied with that many rides on Hex. But yeah, I'll do Rita. I never done Rita at night, and it wasn't really a priority, but it's here, so yeah. But yeah, when you, I was going to say actually, when you about actual 13, when you drop into the woods, it's fantastic. Like the airtime hill, it's really got that atmosphere. And that's the main thing, because the crypt is like completely pitch black as you go in, because obviously there's no natural light coming through. But obviously when you're underground, it's exactly the same as it normally is. So yeah, but I'll see what the queue is on Rita, which it's probably walk on, isn't it? If they've just opened it, and I'll hop on the Intamin rocket, and that'll be my 5th ride on an Intamin launch this year, the most I've ever done an Intamin launch. I mean, I just looked at the queue board and it said 20, but I don't know if they just overestimated that because it's later on, because they've literally just opened the gates. So, and I haven't seen loads of people coming down here. Yeah, they were testing it. I thought maybe that's just for tomorrow, but yeah, yeah, I don't know what to do after this. I don't know what time it is. I need to check. If I can fit Oblivion in after this, that'd be another great night ride. And yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've done more than one like major ride as a night ride, major outdoor ride. So yeah, it'll be nice. But yeah, it's just squeeze in Oblivion. It's the high throughput. It's been quiet. And that might be it. But who knows? Who knows? It just depends like what things are, and it might be earlier than I expect. I don't know. And yes, it is earlier than I expect. I've got about an hour and a half. Just to obviously, you know, it's just I've got time to get out the gates really. Like a good time. So yeah, an hour and a half. So should definitely have time for Oblivion and maybe Smiler after this. Then we can end the day. You know, it would have been nice to do Nemesis, but I don't know if I want to trike all back up there again. I did love Nemesis at night last time, but if I could get some different night rides in this time, and preferably just stay on this side of the park, it'd be great. Yeah, that was very efficient, because every other train, they seem to only be doing one go, and then it just like normally it goes go, 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 but it just says go, and then it just launches. But yeah, that was great. Like, I was on the back, so on a wheel seat on the back, but it was alright, it wasn't rough at all. I don't know if they replaced the wheels on there when they did the refurb, well, kind of refurb. Basically the launch completely broken, it was shut for a couple of months earlier in the year. And it finally reopened, actually, I think the day I went to Thorpe Park for the first day. So yeah, that was interesting. So I'm glad it's back, because it's a great ride. You still get the gut punch. It's a very well paced kind of ride, and the view from the top at night is beautiful. You know, if you can take it in with your being sort of so fast. But you know, when you get to the top, because it is one of the tallest coasters in the park. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the second tallest. Well, Oblivion, the structure isn't as tall, but Oblivion is technically the tallest because of the drop. If you count the drop as the height, then yeah, I guess it does count as the tallest because that is part of the structure. It's just that it's not high off the ground level. But yeah, yeah, when you sort of see all the green lights down below and the crypt for 13 and everything, yeah, it's a great ride. I do like Rita. It's definitely sort of, after the launch, it just sort of meander a little bit. You know, it's just like a winding turns each way, but it doesn't make a difference. And I'm glad I got a bonus night ride because I didn't even think about doing this at night. You know, I didn't. It's not that I didn't think I was going to get the opportunity. It's that I didn't even think of it. But I'm glad I did it because it's another new night ride. Yeah, I'm gonna buy one of these. Yeah, there we go, Terrace Trading. Honestly, why they've still got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on the wall is completely beyond me. But I've just bought myself Rita. I was tempted by an Around the World in 80 Days pin badge, but I'm not going to. I said I was going to buy one piece of merch, and I bought one piece of merch. Yeah, Oblivion, there we go. I mean, I didn't know if I was going to get on this today. It wasn't a priority because I did it last time, but I'm glad I did it at night. Let's go down here because it's open. Yeah, it's a great coaster. You could probably see it more from here as well because it's very dark over the other end, and I couldn't really see it. Oh, there's a big drop than I expected. Yeah, it's great. Like, it's the fastest coaster in the park, and it's just got that sound, doesn't it, as it goes into the drop. Yeah, it was running really well, and it was, especially when it's open at night. I've never done it at night before, and you just look down at the pit, and it's just pitch black in there. Because normally there's a bit of light coming through at the start, but obviously now it's completely pitch black. Look at that down there. And the mist gets in your eyes and everything. It's very cold in the tunnel. But yeah, there they go. Whee! Oh, hear that? The way it just echoes throughout because it literally just drops under here and then pops up at the other end. Extremely short, but it does what it wants to do. And I don't agree with the whole problem. This park has too many prototypes because it doesn't. I think people will want to experience the history if they're a true enthusiast. But yeah, and they preserve them really well. I hope this can be preserved. I know that it's probably not as valuable as the Nemi Reborn treatment, but yeah, I mean, it's still great. Oh, it's empty. I wonder if it's so quiet there. I did see a train earlier, the one before the one that I just shot with all the people on. It was eerily quiet. There was, unless that was an empty one, actually, thinking about it. Yeah, the Smilers, that screen is very bright. It's gone up to 30, but single rider will probably walk on still. So I'm going to get my night ride on the Smealer, or the Smee. What was it? It was on a tier list, I think. It cut off the name, and it just said the Smee. It was something like that, anyway. The Mild. It was something like that. It was funny. But yeah, I'm going to do that because I could just chill. Well, I can't because my legs are aching. But you know, I could just do whatever I want now because I've got all the stuff done. So right there, the Smiler at night, and it is great. Like, it was running less. It sounded less like a shopping trolley. I mean, it was a little bit more painful on the final. But it wasn't. The last inversion wasn't that bad. It was that penultimate barrel roll, and then that half of the Cobra roll. It wasn't all three of them like it has been in the past, but it wasn't the worst ride I've had on it. And at night, it is, when you see the towers from the top, it's spectacular. It really is. I do wish there were more yellow lights around, although they switched these off. They were like blue, and there's like a lot of like, it looks like light blue lighting. It might just be white. I know the screen kind of lights up a lot of the coaster. You got, well, one of them's off, but you know, the flasher as it's supposed to be. But yeah, I think the Sea Serpent's my favourite version. The second airtime hill was fantastic. When you're on the front, because I was on the front that time, I was on the back the first time. And when I'm on the front, it feels like you're so close to the track and you're kind of like being pulled forward. Like, because I mean, I find myself leaning forward a lot to try and not get a headache. But yeah, I mean, look at them being jolted. Yeah, someone said that ears hurt afterwards, and if you're not leaning forward and bracing, you're not going to get that, because if you're leaning forward and not bracing, you're going to get whiplash. So you have to find the way to ride it, but I think I found it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, the second airtime hill was better that time. I feel like the first one stood out to me more, but that time I think it's the other way around. But yeah, I don't know what to do. I might just spinball now if it's open. And that might be my last ride, because I don't know what to do, to be honest. I've done all my priorities. I was going to do Hex again. Again, like I said, I sort of changed on. Well, I just thought, let's do it again. Possibly, you know, it's an option. But I don't know. I fancy doing spinball because I haven't done it today. Hopefully, I can do Hex next time. I hope it's ready for the start of the season. I mean, fingers crossed. It has been, because it went down earlier. That's why I think I filmed a bit of the queue, and then I didn't do a review of it or mention it after that. It's because it did go down, but it reopened about half an hour, if that, after. So, and it has been open for all of this season since it reopened. So hopefully, it's going to open all year, like from the start. It was only shut for the first 2 weeks. It's just the fact that when I came, it was shut. It opened on the 1st of April, but yeah, we'll see about that. Hopefully, it's open. And it can just become a regular ride from this point, because it's my favourite, you know. Like I said, I feel like the showpiece magic, kind of, you know, it's definitely a 3 rides max, I think. But I could have done it again, you know. It's quiet, and I've got the choice if I'm on it. But yeah, so now I'm going to try spinball. Why is it going around on its own? And yeah, that is it for Scarefest. Spinball had shut, and there's no point in getting it open now, so we just kind of walked through. And I can't do the like walking again, so we're just going back to the entrance. Yeah, I can't fault today as a day. You know, I know there's been a couple of little moans about things, but that's not like about today. Is the way things have been operated. The staff have been really friendly, and you know, the rides have been running fantastically, and you know, I can't fault that. Obviously, the thing about CBeebies Land, that's not a new thing. That, well, it is, but you know, earlier in the year, it's not something that is a problem for specifically today. Amigos, the static space usage, I mean, that's just more of a personal moan, to be honest. I don't think many people are that bothered, but I'm sure if they put a dark ride in, people wouldn't complain, especially families. You know, a nice sort of light-hearted theme dark ride. But yeah, you know, and then I can't remember what the other thing was. I mean, there are a few things that definitely need some TLC here. We know this park's got a lot of potential, and I hope it gets bought by a new company in the future that can properly live up to that, because you can have a great magical day like today. I feel like I'm going to look back on today like it was really good. I've probably, because it included the scare mazes, I've probably had a better day here for the attractions than when I did in 2021, which is crazy. I mean, I don't have another sky ride as many times as I wanted it. I only used it for transport that once. But yeah, I do think that should actually shut at dusk, because yeah, 4 probably will be dusk in a couple of weeks, but at the moment it's still too early. It's not dark enough. Because of low light, it's so low light levels for evacuation. They probably can't put lights in the garden because of the locals. So I get it, but I do think just shut it at dusk, and not dusk means 4, because it doesn't at the moment. But yeah, I mean, yeah, look at how quiet it is. It's been quiet, but it's had a nice atmosphere. I've gotten everything I wanted in my plan and more, to a satisfying level. Can't fault. I just hope that next time I come is just as good as this, because like I said, I probably won't do Scarefest next year. Well, I will. I might come at this time of year, but not for like the mazes. I'll just do the scare zones. Even though I do love the mazes, but I just feel like, because if they get more expensive again, especially, I'll just do Twin Lakes instead. I might even come here in September. But let's not wish next year away, because this year's gone really quick. You know, remember that first visit of the season? And here we go, we won't come back to Alton Towers now till 2026, which is crazy, considering I've been coming here yearly since 2021, and that was, of course I'll always have a special place for that day. Like, in terms of how much I've got done, and including night rides, this has been a better theme park day. of course I'll always have a special place for that 2021 visit though, like, that won't ever get really beaten, because that was the day I became an enthusiast, due to Nemesis and Hex, of course. So, yeah, and that's why Hex is so special, because it led me to be a dart ride enthusiast more than a coaster enthusiast. That's my passion. You know, animatronics, I want to build animatronics for dart rides. And is that a spider on the pumpkin? I don't know. Oh, it's an ant. Is it an ant? I can't tell. But yeah, it's as a day at a theme park goes, I've actually got more out of it, to be honest. And yeah, this is going to be one I look back on a great day. I'm repeating myself, you know, like Edge of the Forest. But yeah, I've given all my reviews on the attractions. There's probably a couple of things, well, there are a couple of things I've missed, I know it, but I'll probably think of those in the future and I'll be like, ah. But, you know, it's little subtle things that I just forgot to mention at times, because I've enjoyed it so much, really, so many little details to point out. But yeah, for the 2025 season, good night. At Alton Towers, at least, I have got another plan for Scarefest. Not a Scarefest, for a Scare event. Yeah, I think I'm overly tired. I did have something to eat after Hex, like I said, because when I was in Hex, I started to feel like I was vertical when I wasn't. And I think it's just because I know that ride system so well. I've done Madhouses multiple times. So it felt like I was vertical, like I was feeling the illusion when we were stationary. It was very strange. But yeah, that's it for the 2025 Alton Towers season. Like I said, there are still a couple more things to do at Halloween this year. And that'll be like the last ride park of the season, because I won't get to do any fireworks this year, I don't think. So yeah, good night. Just from a nice, really, really just positive day, and I hope it continues like this, because the pattern of ride availability tends to drop near the end of Scarefest and then just pick up by fireworks. Hopefully this year it just stays good for the rest of the year. It's Merlin. I don't support the company at all, and that's why I feel like I should stop paying for the mazes. If I pay for things I enjoy, like the rides, fine, and maybe VIP tours of Hex in the future. If they do it next year, I'd love to do that. But yeah, in terms of, I just hope it stays now. I really do, because it's been so good today, and I just want more people to experience it like this. So yeah, but anyway, no more tangents. That's it from Scarefest.